Hello, and thank you for joining me tonight. I go by INNATE, and this is a relaxing, distance Reiki energetic healing session with the focus of grief or when someone that we love has passed on. This has been inspired by many messages and comments I've been reading, and direct messages to me asking about this kind of stuff, if I would do a video focusing on it, but also kind of ties into the fact that we're coming out of Scorpio season at this time that I'm recording the video. And Scorpio season has a lot to do with death, and many of us have lost someone during that time period. On top of that, we have the holidays coming, so New Year's, Christmas, Hanukkah, all of those holidays, and there's nothing quite as a reminder to when we have had a loved one pass on than those family time kind of get-togethers. It's like this reflection, oh, this is the first year without my mother, or this is the, so-and-so is not here, or, you just really feel that missing and that loss around those times. So that's kind of what's been inspiring this video. However, if you're watching this at a time, years from now, I hope that it serves you. It doesn't have to be at this time, doesn't really make a big difference. It's just kind of a theme right now. If you've never watched any of my videos before, you might want to take a look in the description to get a little more information on what I do. We're going to be dedicating a candle to the session first. First, I'm going to put my energy into the candle and just ask that it carry or help in aiding to carry this energy to you. And if you have a candle in your space that you'd like to light for this session, it would be great of you to do so. Just strengthens the connection. Candles represent, obviously, the light, the ether, and they hold some space for us during these sacred times, sacred practices. I just want to set the intention for this healing to benefit anybody who's had a time where they're reflecting on a loved one who has passed over, and that's painful for us. I have these little chimes that I'm just going to use to clear my space as well as yours. sound is excellent for clearing space, so I thought it would be a nice touch. If you're ever listening to a healing sound or frequency and it is uncomfortable, it might be tied to just being sensitive, but it also can be tied to a blockage being removed or like pressure building up so that things can kind of flow through you and just kind of clean things out. So it's worth it to try to push yourself a little if you at first don't like a noise or sound, to see if it helps to like move things. I have some stones picked out that I'm going to be laying on this grid, which is Metatron's cube. And I thought it just sounded nice. It's like a cork kind of backing. When it comes to stones that I would suggest, and I do get this question a lot, honestly there are so many stones that can help you through grief, so I picked out ones that I would probably choose or that I have chosen for myself in times when there's many reasons why we're reflecting on this loss, which is a word I try not to say because, you may have heard me say this before, but there's certainly a difference between, in how I feel personally, between saying I've lost my mother or my mother has passed on or moved on. And changing that language is empowering for me to see her in this light of her passage. We all make that trip, so although it hurts me to not see her with my son and he's never met her before, it is, when I think of her as just carrying on with her journey in learning maybe lessons for her soul, maybe becoming reincarnated, whatever she might be doing, being just part of the collective consciousness, which is trying to help and uplift humanity, or us here in this dimension, I can get behind that more. I can feel more comforted by that than thinking about myself and my loss. So this is my favorite stone, which is Kambaba jasper. You can see it has these like little eye shapes on it, or that's what I would call like an eye. This stone is, I want to say, I forget how many billion years old, but this is an incredibly old stone. It's not a fossil, but it's somewhat like a fossil to me. And this was formed from the algae that was on our planet, which originally created the atmosphere in the planet. So I think that's super cool. But Kambaba is excellent for, and you've probably heard me say this a million times, releasing. So I would like for the stone in our grid here to help release these painful beliefs that we may have, these painful attachments, these ideas of loss. Sure, I hurt sometimes. I feel bad for my son. He's missing out on his grandmother. And I'm sorry for using myself as an example, but that's the best example that I have, right? So there's going to be moments like that. But there are things to fill that space with, to cast those things out, and those dark beliefs, those empty feelings, or feeling unsupported, or you've been left alone, or you've been left behind, or something was taken from you. Those do not support you. They are valid, they are real, validate those feelings for what they are, but it's not going to serve you the best to keep holding on to them. So we have this for release. I'm just going to charge it and put it in the grid. This is a little slice of petrified wood. This is actually a gift from Carolina. Many of you see her very often in the comments. She is so supportive and loving and generous, and this was a beautiful gift from her, which she got from Lune. How did she know? I choose petrified wood for the connection to my roots, to my ancestors, to my family tree. But sometimes our family goes beyond our blood, so it doesn't have to be only family in that sense. I saw this little post on Instagram going around which said, when we heal, our ancestors heal. And I thought that was one of the most beautiful things that you could think of in terms of your own healing. When you think of your loved one, wherever they may be, and I am not, I have not passed on yet from this lifetime, and I have my beliefs, but I don't claim to know, exactly what happens. I just have what I think and what I've experienced myself and through astral travel and things like that. But wherever they may be, you know that they don't want to see you hurt. They don't want to see you upset. My mother didn't even want to tell me she was dying because she knew it would upset me. I think that's probably one of the greatest pains, is thinking about, hurting someone else. So it's worth it to consider that and use that as you work through your own grieving or periods. Sorry for the noise. This is a piece of rose quartz, which is another personal choice for me. This is about self-love and compassion, and I'm adding it to the grid so that we remember to love ourselves and be gentle with ourselves and validate these feelings that we have. Don't try to suppress them or it's okay to process these. They have to be processed. It's not the kind of thing that you just switch and like, oh, I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm never gonna cry about my mom again, like something like that. But instead, hold that. It's okay. It's not going to do a lot of damage to think about those things, and there's times where it's important to do so. This was a gift from Tom, if you guys have seen that video. So rose quartz is very much about being gentle with yourself. Additionally, one thing that we're going to be working on in the Reiki aspect, or the Reiki session part of this video, of this session, we're going to be sending energy to these souls, these loved ones who have moved on. So I also wanted to bring out the pink for us to be able to send love and healing, compassion, energy for them wherever they may be, whatever your belief is. If you would like to take that a step further, I have a guided meditation called Sending Love, I think, which is on my channel. You can find it. So gorgeous, beautiful. So we have our 3 stones in our grid, kind of making a triangle, and we're going to be putting this in the center. This is a piece of rutilated quartz. It is a quartz point, so it's raw, so it's not shaped, but it does stand up. So I'm going to be placing this in the center. And rutilated quartz is also called angel hair quartz. It has these little golden rutils in it. And I brought this out because it's predominantly a clear quartz, and those can be used in any way that you want, but specifically for the angelic connection, because we're going to be speaking a little bit on that as well. And this will kind of act as our generator, so we're going to be focusing on, or my intention rather, is for those 3 stones to be sending the energy into the center, which this is here, and it'll be kind of charging it, fueling it, passing through it, and going up and connecting with my energy and the Reiki energy and reaching you and all of that stuff. So it's super beautiful. I got this from Earthling 360, which is a nice Etsy shop, and she's super cool, super sweet, genuine person. One thing I just want to speak on briefly before we get started with our Reiki session, I sort of touched on this, is that you can, and I highly recommend you do, send energy to those who have passed on, those of your loved one who you're thinking about or that you're honoring in some way. My family is not practicing, but come from like a Roman Catholic kind of background, and I remember in churches, which we didn't go to very often, but you can light a candle for someone, and that's such a beautiful process. That was actually my favorite thing to do when I did have to go to church. Not that there's anything wrong with church, I don't like going to church myself, or I didn't when I was young anyway. But that process is something you can certainly do at home, and I'm only bringing that up because it's something that is done in many different religious and spiritual practices, and honoring your ancestors or those who have passed on. And a great way to do that, if you're not going to light a candle, or in addition to a candle, is to light a incense or make an offering of some kind. Something simple I do for my mom is she used to like toffee candy, so I'll like light an incense, light a candle, and focus on her and dedicate the energy of the candle, or the candle more for the connection, and then dedicate the incense to her as like an energy. Sometimes I put money into the pile, or a candy, like a toffee candy, or something that I know that she liked. And this is not worshiping them or anything like that. It is honoring them. It is sending them energy, because just like we have money here and all different sorts of energy that we need to survive, they are better served when they have energy in abundance as well. So sending this to them, praying for them, sending them positive energy, seeing them completing these processes of soul growth and personal transformation, so that if they do choose, or if they are reincarnated, they have better mind for it. These are some incense that I absolutely love, and I actually bought this in a store. Oh my god, they smell so good. They smell like every super yummy like new age witchy books shop. That's what it smells like. So good. They're Indian temple incense cones. And if you've ever ordered anything from me, you know I like to put incense in the packages. So I actually ordered a case of these so that I can put a couple in the packages. Oh, they smell so good. But I just wanted to bring that up, that making an offering, I mean, I guess you can't really look at it as an offering. It sounds like a worship, but sending something to them with intention, sending them energy of some kind through meditation, through prayer, through incense and candles, or playing a song for them. Anything that you can do, like get creative, use your inspiration and intuition, and just focus and intend for it to be in their energetic bank for them to tap into. And in doing so, you put yourself in a bit of a better place as well, because if you ever need anything from them, they'll have the energy to help you. So to set an intention for this session, again, I like to just make sure we're all on the same page, just to help us validate, feel, be in that pain for, I don't want to say for long, I don't mean that, but to feel it and let it be credited, give it credit, feel it and release that pain, transform it. It's sad that we don't have these people here with us, but that's life. That's how things are. And unfortunately, that's, we're going to deal with that. We're going to deal with that all of our lives until we are the ones who are passing on and leaving others behind. So, transforming that pain into something that can be, I want to say, celebrated. Of course, we're not happy that, someone is not with us physically, but we have to understand that there are things that work on energetic levels. There is in my belief, a consciousness that exists beyond this physical, dense reality that we are in. And whatever your belief is, I'm certainly not the type to try to convince anyone of what they should or shouldn't be, believing in. I always say, go with what feels right to you. But whatever that is, to be in a higher place, in a place that you can kind of get behind it and be like, all right, this is beautiful. There's beauty here. There's beauty in this process. And like, I feel sad sometimes, sure. Certain days, birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, all of that it's gonna get to me, and that's okay. I'm human. I'm gonna feel these things. But to add a level of love and compassion and, in a sense, detachment from the fact that we feel so safe when things don't change. Like, things are meant to change. We're meant to have these experiences, and they all teach us something. One more thing to mention, and I feel like this could be taken the wrong way, so please hear me out. But I have never seen a great absence. I have never seen something taken away and then that like darkness come of pain and loss without another door opening. An example that I have for you, I'm sticking with my mother. I hope that's okay. But a month after my mother passed on, I found out I was pregnant. Now, I'm not saying I traded. I'm not saying I couldn't handle both. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. But I've never seen it happen where a loss happens and that person goes through hell, through this heartache and process of dealing with these really heavy, contemplative, angry, confused, sad, all of that kind of stuff going on, and not be the pendulum to swing back the other way and something extraordinary and life-changing enters on the other side. So take what you will from that. Know it comes from a good place. And we'll begin our Reiki session. I hope that the beginning of this video has relaxed you and it's put you in a place where you're more receptive and open to this energy to reach you. That's kind of what I do with A.S.M.R. So we're going to start with some Reiki symbols pushed into your aura. The first one we're doing now is to work through time and space, through this dimension and the next. Now, I don't want to frighten you if you're not into it, but if you happen to wish to connect with your loved one, I'd like for you to set an intention to work through time and space and be open to these messages. And don't put a limit on how they're going to reach you. Don't think, oh, I'm going to hear it, or oh, I'm going to get this like message one way or the other. People can bring the messages of ones who have crossed over experiences. You could read a book. There are things that will fall into place sometimes, which might feel like the answer that you might be looking for from someone who has passed on. So we're going to work on emotional healing, because we certainly need that in times of grief. Just kind of working through your channel, the column that runs from your crown down your spine, just clearing it, clearing out any gunk, painful gunk that might be holding on to you, blocking you. That's Bamba. He's stretching. Especially the heart, I feel a lot in the heart area, so I'm just gonna focus my attention here for a little bit. If you'd like, you could put your hands on your heart too, and just feel this area being cleansed, sort of like a filter or filtration to this circuit of, I want to say this like, I'm seeing this like copper kind of energy. I know copper is the healer's metal, so we'll work with that. Just see it flowing into your heart, and then out your arms, and into your heart, and out your arms, into your heart again, as you hold your hands here. Just send love to yourself. Maybe you want to get this person in your mind who you might be thinking of. See them with their hands on their heart, doing the same thing. Just building up this coppery, energetic field. I just see this like bubble. Maybe reach your hand out to this person, or one of your hands, and touch their hand as they reach out to you, and just share this love, and let them know that you're okay, and you know that they're okay. See them in your mind, working through whatever lessons their soul needs to experience on the other side. Pray for them in a way that they are aware of what they need to do during this time. And you can hold on to them if you want, or let them relax with you. Okay, yeah, it feels way smoother by your heart now. Like less resistant. Alright, so we're going to work on our spiritual levels now. When we consider grief, sometimes we have that feeling like, why does this happen? Why is there pain in our life? Well, in my opinion, there's pain because there's joy and bliss. I'm not saying you have to experience pain all the time, or, I do think that we can work with some principles, maybe of Hermeticism, to overcome certain things, but we certainly live in a world of polarity. And I just had this conversation with someone recently, a friend actually, who lost her father recently, and we talked about polarity and the idea that it's like this line, and how she couldn't really get into that. And I told her that I see it more of like a circle, like the zodiac or yin yang or something, but it's circular. Our world is circular. The planets, which I see as realms, are circular. So polarity, like you always have something across, no matter which direction you go in, if that makes sense. These pains we go through give us empathy. They help us to help others, and there's something really beautiful about that. Okay, so we want to put this power in, and as we're doing this power symbol, we're going to do it a few times because we want this energy and this power to reach our loved one as well. And if you have many loved ones that you'd like to send this to, go right ahead. You can see it multiplied times 1,000,000, times as many as you want. You can see this multiplied, and we'll set an intention now to multiply this energy and share it with 1,000,000 people who have passed on, and reach 1,000,000 hearts who are grieving during these times. just gonna place my hand on my heart for a minute because I'm feeling this like tension at the back, kind of like the ball of the neck area on you. Don't ask me how, it's just something hard to describe. I'm just gonna rest my hand on the back of your neck here and send love and just this looks like a violet and magenta kind of drippy, gooey, slimy almost energy just rolling down your back, your shoulders, specifically coming from the back of your neck here, not like up here like we talked about with the zeal, but it's like here, like a tension. So I'm just gonna squeeze it a little. And I think that it feels like actually like a choke, like when you're gonna cry and you're like choking for a second. That's what it feels like. So take a deep breath. And keep breathing. Validate the pain that you feel, the anger, validate all of that. If you want to kind of like let out a guttural kind of noise, that might be helpful. Like a ooh. Sorry, it sounds funny. Ooh. I feel like it's kind of moving down now to the sacral, so I'm just gonna place my hand kind of a little below your belly button. I'm just sending love to this area. It just feels oceany, splashy right now, so just gain an awareness of our emotions to know it's okay, but we can't let our emotions run us. They are certainly important. Like, we wouldn't have them if they weren't important, but we want to, sail the ship. We don't want the ship to get all tossed around, so we're just going to send some blue light to the sacral. Just calm these emotions so we can calm the waters and see the reflection on the water. So the waters are so still and reflective that if you close your eyes and imagine looking at a dark lake or some body of water that's very still, you can maybe see a shape, a face, a smile, something within yourself that shows you've learned or you've grown or you've been gifted something. I don't know, something like that it looks like. Okay, so I'm just gonna brush down your energy before we do our fluffing, because it feels like really heavy. It's not bad, it just feels heavy, and that's okay. Alright, so I'm just actually gonna put my hands on your shoulders now and brush down your arms. Just brush it off. Oh my gosh, that feels so much better. Just sliding from your shoulder, off your fingertips, from your shoulder, down your arm, and right off your fingertips. So I just want to keep sending you love and healing energy, compassion for the pain that you go through when you think about this stuff, but also I want to focus on giving you the strength to work through these feelings, to see your loved one in a good place at the right time for them, for whatever reason. As in, we don't control the timing of things, is what I mean. and know that they're certainly not in any pain. They are looking down on you and with you, and they want to help you just like your angels want to help you. And if you enjoy working with angels, you might want to ask your angels, your guardian angel, to bring this person to you. Invite them into your space. If you would like some closure in a session with them, to meditate and just send them love and feel that love flow back to you. And when you feel that, it's just so beautiful and healing. There's so much more than we can see. So just sending this strength and love to you to process it. We're going to keep it blue. Just calm, receptive, stable, sweet, just loving energy surrounding you. I feel like our ancestors watch over us just like our angels do, but they also respect our free will, so they need to be invited. If you would like their help, if your mom was a good cook, mine was not. If your mom was a good cook and she's gone and you're making a meal, ask her to help you make this meal, anything like that. If you're doing your taxes and a loved one who is really good with finances, ask them to help you. Whatever you need. Just fluffing all around you. Okay, smoothing your aura down. It's kind of turning into like a pinkish kind of color. Just comfortable, loving, and know you're blessed. And there's so much in our world going on at any given time, and while it's certainly good, more than good, to honor those who have passed on, there's not much actual reason to hold on to the sad images. It's okay to reflect and get teary-eyed and cry or anything like that, but let's shift our mental space to a place of beautiful images, either happy memories of you together, or see them now, see their soul in its purest form in a place where it can do so much good. Whatever works for you, whatever you see, but see them in a better place. If you want to communicate with them, a pendulum is a great way to ask yes or no questions. Just make sure you invite them. Get to know your pendulum. I have a video on pendulums if you'd like. And you can speak to them that way. Just invite them. Light your candle. And light them some incense. I hope that this session has served you in some way and that you benefit from it. Hope you found it relaxing and healing. Certainly, I want these to be healing for you, and I hope that they are so. thank you so, so, so very much for your love and support. I have had like amazing, successful shop updates this month. And I'm just so grateful for your support. It's really makes me feel so good. So just thank you. I have a lot of projects coming out, but I'm very dedicated to this channel. So, I'm going to keep continuing to do 2 a week. It's hard for me to say exactly what day they end up coming out, but I'm going to do 2 a week. Usually one closer to the weekend and one in the middle of the week. That's just a general goal, though. Just thank you so very much. Just thanks. From the bottom of my heart, as always, namaste.